What's up, guys? I just wanted to make a video on my HP a1200y system here. I haven't made a whole lot of computer videos recently, so I thought I'd go ahead and make one. This HP system that I built, it was a system I bought off a friend of mine. His mom was getting rid of a computer. She tried selling it at a rummage sale, and nothing ever ended up happening with that. And so I asked if I could buy it. She said, "Yeah, I'll sell it to you for $75 with the monitor over there, the tower." And there was like a 3-in-1 copier printer scanner thing that came with it as well. I really didn't need that, but I thought it'd be nice to have, especially if it was just going to be thrown in. Actually, it was going to be an extra $25. I think she's going to break even on $100. And I said, well, I'd have to go get the money and all that. And I was already there at their house, so she just ended up giving it to me, which I thought was kind of nice, I guess. But yeah, the monitor over there is a 20-inch Acer monitor. It's not the best monitor, but it does the job. I mean, it can do HD, so that's all I really care about. It doesn't go up to 1080 though. I've tried putting it on 1080 with the graphics card that I have in here, which I'll talk about in a minute. And so yeah, I tried putting it in 1080 and it didn't come up, so I know the screen can't do 1080. But no big deal, it's a monitor that's thrown in. It's the nicest screen I have so far. Um, the Logitech keyboard, which I'll show you guys in a minute, once I actually start booting this thing up, um, it did not come with this system either. I bought it off a friend of mine for 20 bucks. It's about an $80 Logitech keyboard, but he spilt tea on it. And so he said that, oh, some of the keys are sticky, and I just can't stand using it and all this other stuff. And ever since I've used it, I've never really noticed any sticky keys. Maybe once, and by sticky keys I don't mean press and shift 5 times. But yeah, so I never really noticed any sticky keys, to be honest. And it's cool because the keyboard lights up, so I can play everything in the dark and see what I'm doing just fine. I've never had an illuminated keyboard, not even on any of the laptops I've had. I've never had an illuminated keyboard, so I think it's kind of a nice little feature. Um, Overall, the specs of this computer, um, it had a Celeron CPU, which actually I can go get you the box right here. This was the old CPU that was in it, Celeron D. I wrote Celeron D CPU, socket 775, just so I'd remember what it was. And inside, here was the old, second here, the old Asus cooler, and the chip is on the bottom, covered up by some bubble wrap. So it's not getting damaged just by laying and bending the pins or anything. But yeah, I just had that sitting over there. But not really much else to say about the CPU. I upgraded it to that was a Celeron D 3 gigahertz, and I upgraded it to a Pentium D950 3.4 gigahertz dual core. That Celeron was only a single core 3 gigahertz, so quite a bit of an increase. The other stuff here in the system, it came with 2 gigs of RAM. The factory shipment, though, only gave it 1 gig of RAM, but I guess when she had it, they put 2 gigs in it. It's running Windows XP. It says there's an ATI sticker on there, but it's not running an ATI graphics card anymore. And that was onboard graphics. The graphics card in this is an 8400 GS, Gigabyte 8400 GS. I did an unboxing video of it. And then later, if any of you guys have watched any of my computer videos and subscribed to my YouTube channel, most of you probably came from the nVidia GeForce GT440 unboxing I did. And I did put that in this machine, so if you ever want to see what the inside of this machine looks like, because I'm not going to show it on camera today. Maybe I will in a future video, but I just don't have the room, time, or space right now to do it. I'm actually got I've got other things to do today, but I thought I'd take some time, 20-30 minutes. Video probably won't be that long, but I've got that long to make this video, and I thought I'd make one real quick. So I just got it all hooked up here within the last day or so. I was playing around on it, and I just thought I'd make a quick little video, even though it's probably going to be a lot longer than just a quick little video. But yeah, getting on with the computer, I put a Pentium D dual core 3.4 gigahertz chip in it. It has 2 gigs of RAM. It's got an 8400GS in it. I put a 400 watt Silverstone power supply in it, which has all the proper connectors like PCI Express. So if I ever get a nicer video card, which I'm thinking about getting the EVGA GeForce 9800 GT Akimbo card. I found that online for about $35 now, which is a pretty nice card. It's one of those real long cards with a nice heat sink and fan on it. So I was thinking about maybe getting that, or I'm pretty sure it's got a fan on it anyway. I'm pretty sure it does. I can't quite remember. I just saw that video card and it was like $35, and I'm like, oh, I have to have that. But yeah, the graphics in this is okay, but as far as playing certain games, it doesn't have enough oomph, with the graphics. Like, it'll work. It runs games okay, but like when it started really taxing on the CPU was when I was playing Street Fighter 4. I have to enable the backgrounds on high, so there's actually backgrounds in the game, but with the other graphics settings, I had them on low, and it was playable then, but that was it. If I tweaked anything up any higher, it was going under 30 frames per second. So right there, it was playing around 45 frames, I think. So it wasn't the best. It wasn't full 60 frames per second, but it is what it is. But I think I explained everything. 2 gigs of RAM, 8400GS video card, 400 watt Silverstone, the hard drive. The hard drive is still IDE as well as the disk drive. This computer is kind of slow because of that. It does have SATA ports on it. On the motherboard, it's got, I think, 6 of them. So I'm going to be converting. I'll have a separate video for this whenever I get all the parts ready. I'm going to have a separate video converting this machine over to SATA because it really needs it. I really wanted to put a nicer hard drive in, but when I got this, it was not even a week later, and that flood in Thailand or whatever happened, and the hard drives just went through the roof. It was just like, okay, here's this 500 gigabyte Western Digital Caviar Blue drive, and it was $50, and then it was up to $130 within like those 2 weeks, and then it was up to like $150. And then if you wanted a 500 gig Caviar Black drive, I believe it was $200. So it was just astronomical. Chances are I'm only going to put 1 hard drive in here, but if I do decide to go 2 hard drives, I might do that. I don't want to stress the power supply. Like I said, it's only 400 watts, and if I put one of those like EVGA 9800 GT Akimbo cards in there, which is a real long card, which I believe requires a PCI Express connector. This 8400GS is a low pro card, so it doesn't have a connector. It's just got this cheap little fan on it, and I'm not big on cheap little fans. I like having big fans, and big coolers and stuff if I'm gonna be using it. But I can't complain about the video card because it was free, so I put it in here. I even, on that unboxing video, I even did tests with some games on it, so you can see what the thing games like. But yeah, with enough talking here, I'm going to go ahead and boot the machine up now. I just thought I'd give you the rundown of that machine. So 1 second, and I will be joining some clips together because I want to readjust my camera here. Just a quick look before I go ahead and start my next video clip here where I boot up the machine. Here is the keyboard, and here is the monitor. And here's what the machine looks like from a closer view. As you can see. HP Pavilion a1200y, Windows XP, ATI graphics, and a Celeron D inside. Which is kind of funny. I think they named it that because the Pentium D is dual core, but the Celeron's not. But this is back when dual core chips were first coming out, I believe. So, system I think is from 2006. So, and inside, if I open it up there, as you can see, just a basic. I believe it's just an OEM DVD drive, and then in here, there's nothing in there. But yeah, that's that. So 1 minute and I will set up for boot. Alright, got the camera all set up here. Now I'm ready to boot the machine. Let's go ahead and fire it up then. Now you're going to notice that there's going to be no sound. I don't have any speakers hooked up, and most of the time I just use my headphones. But the only thing you'll miss is the startup noise. And I'll explain, there's going to be a pop-up come up, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. But here we go. Hopefully you guys can see everything. I really hope that that glare does not affect the boot. But here we go. Alright, there we go. HP Invent. Yeah, there's a little glare, but there's not much I can do about it. Don't know if you guys will be able to read what's coming up next. I should say the CPU and all that. Oh, crap. I have to restart the computer if you want to see that. Whatever. That section that looked like there was a dual boot going on there, that actually is just Windows XP, I believe XP Pro or Home Premium, I don't know. I never care to look. But it's got that, and there's a recovery thing going on there. I have no idea why they set it up like that, but whatever. Maybe that's something prompted by XP. But before I go ahead and set back up here, I'll actually go ahead and zoom out with my camera here, and I want to go ahead and show you guys the keyboard and everything. First off, let me show you this booting real quick. Before I go ahead and show you the keyboard and everything lit up. There you go. So that's about how long it took to boot. We'll restart the computer and do the boot process again, so you guys can see what I'm talking about here. But yeah, I just got me a Super Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition background there. I really like that background, and you know, I finally had a something to support the resolution. You know, it's originally a 1080p picture, but you know, I don't know how this is improvising that 1080p. It must be just cropped on the sides just a couple inches, and I apologize if I just wobbled the camera around here. I just rocked in the chair while holding the camera. But that's that. I don't know why, but there's supposed to be a pop-up come up here in a minute. And I'm sure you can hear that little ID hard drive accessing. May hear other things within the house, I'm not sure. I've got somebody in the bathroom, so... And the bathroom is like right next, like catty corner from this wall. Or, you know, on the other side, not necessarily catty corner, so... Don't know if you can hear that. Probably not. You probably can't hear it over this thing accessing away. But, I have no idea why this thing is, oh, there we go. Preparing to install. Yeah, this is the thing that I was having. This is some printer. I was going through taking programs off of here, and I was like, oh, this printer thing, I'm not going to have a printer hooked up to this. I'm going to make this like a low-end gaming machine, and by low-end, I mean, by gaming machine, low-end gaming machine, I really mean low-end. Go away. You have to hit cancel on this like 3 or 4 times, and it's going to be like, Windows could not find the .msi installer. You know, would you like to find it? And I'm serious, guys. I can never find this thing. Right? I'm like, why is this even here? Why do I even need this? You know? It's like, oh, we have to locate the installer file. You know, just like, oh, it's annoying. And It has something to do with me adding and removing programs, and I took it off there or whatever. I don't know why it's not popping up anymore, but anyway, I've just got a few programs on here. A lot of Steam games, but currently I've just moved into this house, so I have no internet. So it is what it is. But yeah, that's that. Um, and another thing that's kind of annoying about this machine, I don't know why, but anyway, um, I I try to shut this thing down and it never goes. Windows is now shutting down. It just stays loading. So I do a hard shutdown, right? And when I start it back up, it never says it improperly shuts down. So I have no idea why it does that. I don't know if that's some power setting in the BIOS. I wouldn't think it would be, but I just find it weird that I hard shut it down and it never says, oh, Windows did not shut down properly. Normally you can go through like safe mode and all that, and it doesn't have me do that. And I'm not necessarily complaining, I'm just concerned why it doesn't. I guess I just don't understand that. But yeah, I think it's went through and loaded everything. So I'm going to go ahead and I can do a restart here. So if I block the screen, I apologize. But I'm going to go ahead and do a restart. Now, if I restart the computer, as far as I remember, if I restart the computer, I should be able to. Oh, no, I guess not. No, because it'll just have me say turn off the computer. Alright, whatever. I'm going to hard reset this and hopefully this will come up. Oh my god. Alright, folks, I can tell you why I can't get into setup, and the reason is, yeah, it's showing this screen because I shut it off, hard shut it off during boot. The reason I cannot get into the BIOS and everything right now is because I'm using a USB keyboard. And in order to strike those keys, you need a PS2 keyboard. I don't know why, but I've had this problem before. I don't know if this is an XP thing or what. But I do know I need a PS2 keyboard, and this would work just fine. At the moment, I don't have one, so I wanted to show you the American Megatrend BIOS and have it show up everything. I guess I don't need to, but yeah, I guess I'll just go ahead and I'll show you on CPU-Z what I'm running. I guess I should have done that, but I really wanted to show you that American Megatrend BIOS come up and flash and be like, oh, hi, and be like, you're running a dual-core CPU and all this other stuff, so I'll just let it boot again. Just go ahead and put this down here. Wait for this to run here, and we'll get going here. Of course, I gotta wait for the stupid PS Printers 08 to load up, but no worries. As far as other computer build videos go, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I've got quite a few old school computers, if you guys are interested. Um, I was thinking about showing my first computer. Um, I was thinking about showing my very first like real computer that I had. The first computer I ever really owned was a Commodore 64, but I don't have that anymore. So I believe it was either a Commodore 64 or an Apple II. I can't quite recall what it was because it was so long ago. I'm pretty sure it was a Commodore 64, and I used to play Number Munchers. So yeah, that was like the first computer I had. But the first real computer, a Windows-based machine that I ever had, was an old E-Machines computer. It was brand new, but I mean it's old now. I just had a crappy Celeron in it, and but it worked. It worked for what I needed to, which was school and stuff. And I needed one when I was going into middle school, so 2001 middle school. You can probably tell about how old I am, you know. Um, but yeah, I always liked that little machine. go ahead and make sure I'm not zoomed in. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and boot up CPU-Z here, and I'll go ahead and show you off some of the things here. Alright, I don't know where you can see that, but here we go. Alright, so I've got a Pentium D inside, 775, Pentium D950. Where's the cores here? Here's core speed, 3,399, basically 3,400 megahertz. The multiplier, I'm not too familiar with all that stuff. I assume a higher multiplier is better, but you know, it's just me guessing. Bus speed is 200 megahertz, and front side bus is 800 megahertz. Now, as far as I recall, the cache on this CPU is just as good as the E-series Pentiums that were later released, socket 775. So I never understood why everyone was like, oh, these Pentium Ds are crap. They're early dual cores and they're crap and they run too hot. Granted, they may run too hot. I'm not sure. But I have a Dynatron cooler on here, so, you know, I really don't have to worry about it. But, yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not as good as, like, a more modern dual core. But I've checked some of the dual cores, and I checked the cache and everything. As far as I saw, this Pentium D was better than some of the new dual cores they're releasing. But as you can see, it's got 2 cores and 2 threads. That's just the cache again. The motherboard is an ECS model Astrope. I don't even know. It's got I believe both north and south bridges ATI. So that's kind of funny. Run an ATI with the nVidia graphics and all that. I'm sure it's not that uncommon. The RAM is, there's 2 gigahertz here, or excuse me, 2 gigabytes, what am I saying? DDR2 RAM, it says it's 300 megahertz, so I assume that it's 300 megahertz RAM. I was always sure this was 2 gig sticks, but as far as I remember, if you had 2 memory modules here, you could select between them here, so I'm not entirely sure about that. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it's on this page. Okay. So it is 2 separate things. They're both made by Anion. Never heard of them, but maybe that's just me. It says 333 megahertz. So I'm wondering how much of a difference, since I've never really put in RAM in a system, you know, any sort of aftermarket RAM, I wonder if 800 megahertz, like DDR2 800 megahertz RAM would be like some G-Skill or something. This board only supports 2 gigs, so that's why I was wondering. The graphics is an 8400 GS. You probably can't read that very well, but that's what it says. With a core clock of 450 megahertz, shader clock is 1125, and the memory clock is 400 megahertz. It is a 512 meg card. The speed, it doesn't say in here, but the speed is GDDR2, so it's okay, I guess. It's just a little budget video card. And then the about, we don't need to read that. There's not really anything I can show you. I don't have any games sitting around here. I mean, I could throw The Witcher in, but, I mean, if you want to see that, just look up my 8400 GS video. Same deal. So you can look up the games there. But I believe I've rambled on long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this little computer video. And let me set my camera up here. But yeah. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I apologize if it was super long. But, you know, it is what it is. I hope to make more computer build videos or computer videos for you guys to watch if you guys do enjoy them. I hope I'm not too boring. I know I don't have the most exciting voice. I have a very monotone voice. I apologize about that, but you know, there's not much I can do about it. I try my best to, you know, I try to make myself informative and interesting. You know, I'm not one of those people that has to be funny and improv and make bad jokes or whatnot, but Anyway, I apologize if this video is long. I know it was longer than I expected it to be. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And for now, I will catch you guys later. Oh, before I go, if you look in the corner over there, you're seeing there's a Coke bottle, and 2 Monster drinks. One of those is a Dub Monster Energy drink, which I got at a car show. And that Coke bottle is not an empty Coke bottle. That's actually filled with ocean water from when I went to Mexico. So if you guys are wondering what that was, that's what that is. It's not me just leaving a trashy desk area. But anyway, as far as this video goes, I think I should cut it off now. So until next time, guys, I will catch you all around, and be on the lookout for the next computer video. Peace.